Hello, my name is Chris Jimenez. I am the Web Services Librarian as well as the History Librarian. Today we're going to talk about some of the resources that are available to you that you can use to get started with your historical research at the library. Let's get started. All right, here we are at the library homepage. That's library.fiu.edu. Just a couple things I wanted to point out here. On the right-hand side, we do have our Ask Us service. This is a chat service, a live chat service. So when a librarian is on chat, you'll see that this will pop out. It will ask if you need help, and you can chat now. When a librarian is not online, you will receive just the FAQs button that you see here, and it will take you to our frequently asked questions, where you can pose a question and a librarian will get back to you. Now, you see here that we do have our big search box across the top. This is a big general search. It is not recommended for your initial discovery. What we want to do here is actually go into the history databases. In order to get to the history databases, we're going to go into our menu under Find and click on the A to Z list. This is a whole listing of all of our databases alphabetically, right? A to Z. And so from here, you can go to click on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. Like let's say it's JSTOR. Your professor wants you to get into JSTOR. You can go to J and locate JSTOR alphabetically within this list. Alternatively, though, you can use our browse and filter options to go ahead and get into all subjects. And you can click on, let's say, history. So if I scroll down here, we can click on history. We have 299 databases that are geared towards historical research. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that we have called out several databases as best bets. These are probably very good initial databases for you to go ahead and use to log into, to run your initial search through. These are databases that may be common or very popular. But again, you can go ahead and browse through some of these databases. Some of these databases will have archival primary sources. Some of these databases will have newspaper sources. Some of these databases will be journal packages or indexes that will get you to resources, articles that might be pertinent to your search terms. Another option here to filter is by type. Now, if you drop this type down. Again, I've already mentioned some of the types. We do have archives and primary sources. These are databases that will include some primary source material or archival materials, biographical information, directories, e-journals, right? Another big one that's quite popular with students is newspapers. So I can go ahead and click here, and this will give us the intersection of newspapers that are historical newspapers. Now, the definition of historical from a vendor might be somewhat different than the definition of what is historical from the perspective of a researcher. So just note that if you need newspaper sources, you may not want to actually limit yourself to just those history newspapers or historical newspapers. You might want to clear this filter here. And then now we've got a jump to 80 newspaper sources. So these are, again, newspapers, not necessarily categorized by the vendors or the companies as historical. Speaking of companies, you can also filter by vendor. So if you know that, let's say, Newsbank is a vendor that you're comfortable with, that you want to use, or Accessible Archives, right? You can go ahead and filter that way as well, and it will whittle down the options that are given to you here on this page. Again, that's all dependent on your purposes and your needs. One final note that I want to make on this A to Z list page is that you can search. So let me go ahead and just clear my filters and everything. And if I wanted to search for, and I'll just use JSTOR as an example, JSTOR, hit enter. We know that JSTOR is right here in the center. I can go ahead and click and get into JSTOR. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this again. I'm going to go back into our historical subjects here. Note on the right-hand side, we have our history, quote-unquote, experts, and my face is listed here, as well as George Pearson. George Pearson is my counterpart at BBC, so if you live near that campus and you'd rather meet with a librarian up there, you can contact him. Or if you want to meet with me, either via Zoom or in person at the Green Library, you can click on my face here and then send me an email or use my research consultation form to pick out a date and time to meet with me. You can also review some of the guides that I've developed for assistance with research, whether it be historical research or research in other topics. Anything that might be of use to you, feel free to go ahead and make use of it.